Hello everybody, I'm Mr. B, and on Music Notes today we're going to be exploring the integration of Splice with Studio One. So let's go. When we start a project and we want to use Splice, it's actually super easy to access. So what we're going to do is that you are already familiar with the browser. Okay, so we're going to go down to the browser, open up your browser, and then you'll see over here that we've got our several different tabs. And in our home page, let's go to Splice. You can access it vertically or horizontally. All right, so now that we are in Splice, and make sure that you're logged in, we have two different options. If you're logged in under my account, let's first look at my personal library, which is very massive because I've been a Splice user for well over a decade. Shout out to Splice. Let's take a look at my library. Okay, this is my personal library. You're more than free to use any of my samples I've collected over the years. Now, how to actually look at this. Now, there's a couple different ways. One, I can help you make a collection. So I've got different students who've made different collections, and you can easily access their sounds right into their collections, which I think is probably one of the easiest ways to use Splice, and we can make new collections really easily. If I go to new collection and I just want to say Mr. B, and I can just make a new collection and start building my sounds there. Or you can go to liked, and I know I've got plenty of liked, but let's just refresh it and then just go to my personal library. Okay. We can sort things through instruments. One is going through the different types of instruments. Okay, let's just find a drum loop. So first, let's just go to drums. Okay, I have 3,000 plus options. Now I'm going to go to not a key, but right here. If you look at this section right here, this is a very important section. One shots and loops. If I'm trying to find a drum loop, I'm only going to select the loop. If I'm trying to find a one shot, which is a one sound, then I'm going to go there. Okay, so let's just go to drum loop. Okay, so let's see in my drums. Okay, now genre, I can even change the genre. Maybe I'm trying to find a down tempo and boom bap type of drum loop. Okay, well, this really narrows down the options to two. I've got two that fit into that category. Okay, what if I take out the down tempo? Let's see what we got now. Quite a bit more, but now it's starting to thin out throughout my samples. Okay, that is what the sample sounds like, and you can go throughout and sort them by key or by BPM, which is really cool, right? If I go to BPM, you can really filter out what you're looking for in a giant sea of samples. Okay, so down here at the bottom of the browser is some useful information like the play button. Okay, we have the fast forward to the next sample button and rewind button from the previous sample. We also have some metadata, right? Like we can add to the likes if we like it. It gives you the little picture of the cover of the sample pack, and the key, which we can sync to our project. Well, that's going to be very, very handy, very, very cool to use. Not necessary for a drum loop, but definitely like bass, melodies, chords, counter melodies, accents, all of those you want to be in the same key, and this is how you would select it. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So this is the speed, and I can half time it or double time it or keep it at regular time it. Right now it's at, our tempo is at 120 because that's the default. But let's say if I change this to 90, which is more realistic with a boom bap type of beat. Now look, I can half time it or double time it. Very easy to do that. Super cool. Okay, that's too slow. Let's bring it back to 1. There we go. That's a regular time. Let's see what 2 times says. Nope, not realistic. So this sounds good at 90 BPM. Okay. This is also how you can adjust the volume of the sample that you're listening to. All right, so that's all in the library section. Now let's go to the home section. And I have a huge amount of credits, and I don't mind you using them as long as you don't abuse them, using them without abusing them. We can sort by instruments, genres, and cinematic effects. There's not too much in cinematic effects, but there's a lot in instruments. So let's take a look at the instruments tab. Okay, so there's drums, there's vocals. You can see there's a ton of different, look how many samples there are for drums. 1 million. There's no way that anybody can be able to go through 1 million samples. It's impossible. So we can itemize them, filter them out. If I only want kicks or breaks or claps, I can look at those. Also with the vocals, this is where we filter out everything that's important. Special percussion, shakers, congas, bongos, cowbells, synthesizers, bass, leads, woodwind and brass, keys, which are different kind of pianos, and guitar, bass, effects, strings, etc. Okay, those are all the different categories in the instrument browser. All right, now let's look at the genre browser. We have hip hop, R&B, and these are the subgroups located within that. Techno and house, EDM and pop, live sounds, and bass music, electronic music, global music, and cinematic. Okay, so look, you've got 2 really specific ways to search for your sounds. If you're looking for a genre specific, okay, if I'm like, you know what, I just really want to make a Jersey Club song, I'm going to open up Jersey Club, and then you can see that I still have 4,000 different samples. That's too many to go through. So let's start itemizing it. If I'm like, okay, I want to have a drum sample, and I want to have it as a loop, and I want it Jersey Club, and now my samples yield still a lot less samples, 668. Well, that's still too many for me to go through. So what I really like to do, I like to press this little button right here and go to sort by random, and then press the randomizer button. Okay, now these will randomly select different kits or different loops to use. I can go scroll up and down using my arrows on my keyboard to quickly go through the samples. Now, right now, I have Jersey Club, and you can see that on each sample, it's going to give you the tempo. Mine is set to, remember what my tempo was? 90. So Jersey Club is really not played at 90 BPM. So I would probably go down and change my tempo to fit Jersey Club, which is probably around 130 to 160, etc. Okay, so now this one is going to sound more realistic for something that is in Jersey Club. Remember that it's listed right here on the sample what the tempo and what sample pack it comes from. Sometimes the style too. I'm going to change my tempo back down to 90 because now I'm going to show you how to link up different melody, chords, and accent tracks using Splice. So let's go to instruments and let's go to synthesizers or keys. Let's just go to keys. Let's go to piano. All right. We're going to find a loop that we really like and select the loops tab. We still got 40,000. It's too many. So let's just say electric piano, start filtering out. And now I'm going to go to random and randomize a chords loop that I really like or whatever it's going to be. Okay, so let's open that up. Now I've got 1,000. Want to make sure that it's on a loops. Okay, good. Okay, I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to load it right here on its own track. Okay, I'm going to loop it. And now I am going to make sure I know what key it is in. It is in A minor. Okay, this is where it gets really important to know your keys. Okay, so what I usually like to do is open up the chords track, drag this into it, and see all of my chords, which is A minor, D minor, E minor, and G. Okay, that's good to know. Now, when I'm coming over here, let's find another loop that's out of key and match it using the key matcher function in Splice. This is one of my favorite features. Okay, so next we are going to find a matching sound, and that's gonna not be in A minor, so I can show you how to change the key so that it can easily match using the key tool right here. Okay, so you can do this with any type of loop, from bass to vocals to leads or stabs, whatever. I'm going to use an arpeggiator because I like arpeggiators. And let's just go to instruments. Let's do keys, arpeggiating. Let's do some, make sure that we have it on loops. We're just going to find a loop that is not A minor. Okay, this one's C minor. Okay, that could potentially work. So let's select it. Now we're gonna go down to the bottom and make sure that our sync to project is on. Okay, see how this says that loop is in C minor. Now we want to that's going to transpose it. Okay, so watch what happens. Let's now add that to our project on its own track. Okay, that didn't do it. Okay, let's just double check. Let's see what's it's actually happening here. Okay, so one thing that we forgot to do is to set the scale. So let's go ahead and set the scale right down here at the bottom. We're going to set it to A minor. See this? So we're going to go on this key wheel and go to A minor. All right, so now that should really change a whole lot. Now you can see over here that it actually is now A minor. It pitched it down 3 semitones. Oh, okay. Well, that's going to change everything for loading it up. All right. So now let's load it up and hear what it sounds like. Okay. So now that we changed the key of it and we adjusted the key in the project, let's load our sample and hear how it sounds. All right. Now that this is in key with our project, it sounds way better. And that's it. That's really how you use Splice integrated into Studio One. All right. Have some fun.